Hey, howdy, and hello, everybody. What's going on out there? Welcome to Outlawed Live every single Tuesday night. Happy post 4th of July to everyone out there, July 8th, as it is this evening. Hope you had a fun and safe and awesome 4th of July weekend, but it's time to get back into pulling. So, this is our first podcast post the 4th of July, first full week of pulling. Post 4th of July. Good time to get caught up on some of the pulling that you've missed. I know that I've spent a lot of my time going back through on fullpull.live, our partners over there with outlawpulling.tv, getting caught up on all of the pulls. I've been able to sort back through and see some of the things that happened down at Whitewright. Of course, we were in Manila last we checked, and a huge week this week. So, going to be your host this evening, flying solo. My name is Mike Idle. For those of you who don't know me, Ron Stone, your typical host, he will be on if he's available. Traveling to Concord, Nebraska right now. Didn't know if he'd be able to pull over and have internet. Didn't know if he would have service. Hopefully he can jump on. He's going to come on and talk to us about everything. We've also got Kurt Kimm scheduled to come on, going to talk to us about Rock Valley. We're getting into it, guys. We're about a quarter of the way, maybe a third of the way into the outlaw truck and tractor pulling season, the 2025 season. We're right at that point where we can start breaking things down, where the season is starting to write the narrative of what it wants to be or the direction that it's going. So we're right at that point where we can check a couple of point standings. We can start looking at some trends, but there's a lot of pulling left to happen. But we're right at that point where it's starting to kind of identify itself. Let's talk about this week first. Huge week. One thing that we hear, see if I can point the right direction. It's over here. Here at the Outlaws, we run a gauntlet in our season. We are not afraid to go out and hit as many pulls as we can, and we're not afraid to have these big, long, awesome weeks like we have. So what do we have? Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Wednesday, one session, Thursday, two sessions, Friday, one session, Saturday, a session. So we've got tons of pulling over the next 3 to 4 days. Tomorrow, we're going to jumpstart the week. We're going to be pulling in Concord, Nebraska. Quickest and easiest way to see what's going down there. Like always, I tell everyone, check out that Outlaw app. This thing's free to use, free to download, free to interact with. And it is just, I mean, we use this straight from the announcer's booth. We use this in production. Super, super handy. So as you can see right here, you can just click on it. It's got all your events, Concord, Onawa, and then Rock Valley. Triple session. Always been 3 session, but now we're going to go triple day on that. Going to be really neat. And what are we going to see out there in Concord, Nebraska, up there in northeast Nebraska? 3,200 super fields, light limited modifieds, light super stock ag. First time we've seen them since Ravenna. So they've been on a little bit of a hiatus. They're going to come back. Naturally aspirated two-wheel drives. That's been a big story developing over the past two groups of pulling, the past 3 weeks of pulling, the past 2 weekends where there have been pulls on those. That story is developing quickly. Regional light limited pro stocks and regional limited pro stocks as well. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 classes. And yeah, look at the lineups. You can go ahead and already check those out. 3,200 Superfield, 10 of them going down the track. And that's a fun story. We'll talk about their point standings in a little bit. I believe that Gary Kavanaugh undefeated in that so far. We've got a couple of classes with undefeated participants so far. Really, really unique that here we are 3, 4, 5 pulls into the season. And a couple of people have perfect seasons out there on the line right now. And I think Gary Kavanaugh is one of them. Light Superstock Ag, again, this is tomorrow night in Concord, Nebraska. Showtime is going to be 7 o'clock. Says it right there on the top of the app. 7 o'clock out there at a nice little county fair. Beautiful fairgrounds they have out there. Got to check it out for the first time last year. I believe that's Greg Rasted's kind of turf, kind of his home area up in there. Light Superstock Ag, 11 of those. So we're already up to 21 vehicles, just 2 classes in. And I can see right here, if I scroll all the way to the bottom, fun story right there. Hawkeye hooker Jeremy Paulson looks like he's going to be back. Of course, we know what happened with Jeremy last year. Really big time pulling incident. I'll put it that way. Driver was fine. Safety equipment did what it was supposed to do. If you haven't seen the video, just Google, tractor pulling tractor pulling crash. It'll be the first thing that pops up, I'm sure. Shook him up a little bit. Strong, hard competitor, but he's back with a brand new tractor. I think it's a similar setup. Setup in that tractor is really, really unique. That's something I kind of want to see happen. It's something I've been advocating for a long time. Single turbo, big cubic inch, 30.5 tires. I think that thing could run against diesel supers, light super component. I think that concept really has a lot of merit to it. So it'll be fun to see what he's up to. Scrolling through this lineup, this is again for Concord. We haven't even gotten into the meat and potatoes of this week. Of course, Corey Schluter's going to be back out again. Demon Be Gone's going to be there. Randy Duncloud with Green Acres. Crazy Horse, Kurt Paulson, going to be pulling. I look for him to make some big moves this season. He looked really, really good in Ravenna. Regional light limited pro stocks, LLPs. I think that's their first regional hook so far in the year. Another 10 of those. We're up to 30 tractors already. Regional 4-1s, 8 of those. So we're just shy of 40. Light limited modifieds, 8 of those. We'll call it 46. And naturally aspirated 2-wheel drives, 5 of those. So right at about 50 hooks. 50, 55. Great single track Wednesday night show. Naturally aspirated 2-wheel drive trucks. What's going on with them? They're the final ones on the app. Doesn't mean they'll be the final ones to hook, but they're the final ones on the app right there. Luke Renner, perfect on the season. I think we've got 3 perfect seasons so far at this point. Of course, you heard me talk about Gary Kavanaugh, that Red Edge 2. Several points championships. I need to run downstairs and grab my notebook. I want to say he's got 4 championships, maybe 4 in a row. But he's undefeated on the season. Picked up a win in Norfolk, picked up a win in there was another spot where I believe they pulled after that. I think he's got 2 wins on the season so far, maybe just 1. Maybe they've only hooked once. But then you've also got Luke Renner in that naturally aspirated 2-wheel drive truck class. Picked up a win in Manila, picked up a win in Norfolk. He's 2 for 2. And then Keith Hammonds, which we'll see him hooking in Onawa, I believe. Pro stock 4-wheel drive trucks. Yep, right here on the app. Thursday night in Onawa. We're going to do 2 shows Thursday night. Half the band's going to be in Rock Valley. Half the band's going to be in Onawa, Iowa. 2 shows, Pro stock 4-wheel drive trucks. They're going to be there in Onawa. Keith Hammonds, undefeated 7-time points champion. I just looked it up. That actually makes him the 7th most successful driver in outlaw history. We're going to talk a little bit about that more later on if we have time. I've got some trivia questions for all you folks out there. So to my knowledge, correct me if I'm wrong, if you've got the app or if you're watching, I think we have 3 perfect seasons so far on the line. The Giras with underrated 2 were perfect until they went to Manila, and then they did not walk away with a win. Let's take a break here. Get caught up on some of the comments. Great group of people. A lot of you guys watching tonight. Dick Blankenspore tuning in from Inwood, Iowa. Faithful watcher. Thank you for watching this evening. Dick, will you be in Onawa, Concord, Rock Valley? Will you be live streaming from home? Let us know how you're going to be taking in pulling this week. Robert Miner says, hello, Mike, checking in from Niobrara, Nebraska. Another faithful watcher right there. Thank you for tuning in. Again, let me know what pulls you're watching. Let me know how you're going to be watching them this week. Are you live streaming? Are you watching from home? Are you going to specific ones? Cole Lundahl, evening from Wakefield, Nebraska. If you like pulling, go look at Cole's content. Cole's always got great photographs. He has a lot of really intelligent hot takes on pulling. This is a man who knows his stuff through and through. So, Cole, good to see you checking in. Zook Fukerberg, Doug Voth out there says, hello from Lindsay, Texas. Griffin Grau will not be at Rock Valley. We are having ignition problems. Hopefully, we'll get it going soon. Thank you for the update. Love it when pullers are forthcoming and candid about what's going on with their vehicles. Still a big believer in what Doug is going to try to attempt there with the Griffin Grau with the twin turbochargers on top of that thing on that Rolls-Royce V12. I think there's a lot of potential in that setup. So we look forward to seeing that thing getting wired and fired and doing its thing. Brett Ball is watching. Hello, Brett. Thanks for watching. Jim Harmon tuning in. Mike, good to hear you on air again. Yes, okay. And kind of just at this point, I guess we'll talk about that too. At this point, you're going to find me 99% of the time exclusively Outlaw. It's just a decision that I have made, my family has made. So you'll still see me here on Outlawed Live every chance I'm available. Of course, there's going to be times where Ron runs this show without me. There's going to be times like tonight where I run it without Ron. Ron and I love running it together. But yeah, this is where you'll see me moving forward. Jim, hope everything went well over there in Shelbina. I know you guys had a really big antique and classics pull over there. I had some prior engagements, wasn't able to make it over there. But I hope everything went well over there. Kevin Davis is chiming in. We'll see what Kevin is up to. So Kevin Davis is watching from Wayne, Nebraska. Of course, we'll be headed to the Wayne County Fair later on this month. And one of those big sweeps that we have, Charles Edward Core says, I'm going Friday. How's it going? Going to Rock Valley on Friday. That's what we like to hear. It's going awesome. It's one of those huge weeks of pulling where we have 4 shows, 3 days, 3 different locations, 2 different states. It's going to be great. Robert Miner says he is going to go to Rock Valley in person. That's what we like to see, going to all 3 sessions. We hope so. And Tina Berger says, Tina and Eric, see you in Rock Valley Friday and Saturday. Sounds great. Looking forward to it. I won't be getting into Rock Valley till Friday as well. So I'm actually going to be in Onawa doing that show. And so, yeah, I'll see you guys there Friday and Saturday. Kevin says he's going to be in Concord. Excellent. I'll be on the camera in Concord. So let me give you a rundown of the rest of those polls. We took a break for comments. That was our rundown for Concord, Nebraska. So one more time, Concord, Nebraska, showtime 7 p.m., 3,200 Superfield. Will Gary Kavanaugh stay perfect on the season? Light Super Stock Ag, they've only ran once. Kind of Corey Schluter's party to lose right now. You know, he's the defending champ. Is he going to stay on top? That class is getting bigger and bigger with a lot of heavy hitters in it. Regional light limited pro stocks. Our gear is going to continue hitting things hard. Are they going to compete for points at a regional level? Regional limited pros, a light limited mod, naturally aspirated 2-wheel drive trucks. Will Luke Renner stay perfect on the year? Then we go to Rock Valley. We're going to go to Rock Valley on Thursday, but we're going to go to Onawa on Thursday as well. Onawa, you're going to see a similar show, 3,200 Superfield, light limited pro stocks, light super stock ag. Super Farms are going to come and join us in Onawa. Diesel 3.0 trucks. That'll actually be the first time I personally have seen them so far this year. They were down in Texas. I didn't make that show. And pro stock 4-wheel drive trucks. Keith Hammond's 3 for 3. Is he going to stay perfect? And then after that, we'll be in Rock Valley for the next 3 days. Let's go ahead and talk to someone who looks like he's chiming in right from the announcer's booth. Mr. Kurt Kimm. Kurt, are you trackside right there at Thunder in the Valley?
Well, that is correct. Up in the announcer's booth. Beautiful.
That's the best place to watch a pull right there, the announcer's booth at Rock Valley, Iowa. How are things looking from your vantage point?
Good. We got a ton of people out here again tonight, and it's actually winding down the amount of work. It seems like it gets easier every year, but especially with I can show you guys a hay lot that is wide open, not with 10,000 bales sitting in it like every other year. So,
so this is what, kind of north of the track a little bit, and this is a place where this is going to expand parking for pullers, for fans. How does this, help everybody so much?
Well, the hay lot, so we can get pullers in here a lot quicker. And then north of the track is semi parking, and then north of that is the new campground. So I can see if I can flip my camera around, but everything's firm. People are wondering about the rain. Our phones have been ringing quite a bit, but Thursday night it's talking like after midnight Thursday night, but everything is firm, and there is a tarp here, so if we have any inclination of rain Thursday night, the track will get covered. So, and they say it's supposed to clear up by Friday morning sometime, and I don't see how we won't be pulling Friday night unless, you never know what happens, but we will be prepared.
as with most big pulls, cornerstone pulls, this isn't one where it's going to be like, oh, I don't know, guys, we got some showers. You are 99.99% green light. It's your intention no matter what happens. You anticipate to go pulling, and like you said, the facility is ready, the ground is ready, the tarp is ready. Even if something does happen, I don't imagine this is the type of place or the type of crew where you guys are going to be like, oh, well, sorry, we'll see you tomorrow. If we have to do a delay or whatever, we will. This is a place where you're going to go pulling. That's the full intention, correct? And we might have lost Kurt right here. When they do in from trackside, you never know what you're going to get when they have that mobile connection. So we'll let him get reconnected here and see if he can chimes in. But I know that is kind of what we talk about.
There we go.
Big pulls. Yep. So we were just talking with these cornerstone pulls, you pull out all the stops. This is not something that weather.
Mike, I can't hear a word you're saying.
Okay, so now it looks like Kurt doesn't have audio for me. Kurt, you got me now?
I don't know what's going on here.
All right, so we might have to circle back to him. But as we're saying right here, Rock Valley, count on pulling. The full intention is to be pulling. So Kurt's going to try and get that sorted out and join us yet again. So you heard him talk about all the work that they're doing. Great community-oriented place up there. A lot of work went into it last year. So Kurt's talking about maybe some rain in the forecast. Guys, that track was literally underwater a year ago, and they pulled anyway. This is a place where pulling happens. We'll see what he can do here. Kurt, you got me now?
Yep. I don't know what happened.
Right.
Somebody tried to call my phone and screwed it all up.
Sounds good. So we're just talking about how this is a place that the weather does not affect easily. You guys are prepared. You're resilient. It's a big pull. We're going to go pulling. You're thinking green light no matter what, right?
Yeah, like I said, I mean, we can't guarantee it, but barring rain right up to showtime, or during showtime, I should say, but
yep.
It looks like it's going to clear Friday, so I think we should be. And they don't know the track of where the rain is going either, so a lot of variables yet. But we're going to do everything we can to make sure we have a pull. So,
So I would encourage folks that are traveling. Don't let that deter your travel plans. Don't let that deter whether or not you come out and support this amazing event. It's not a 50-50 chance. It's a 99-1 chance that they're going to go pull, and they're going to do everything that they can. You said a lot of people have been busting tail this week, and you said there's still even a bunch of people out there right now. Walk us through what happens trackside at a mega pull like this the week of the pull to prepare for such a big event.
Oh, just getting the grounds, the grass, the weeds taken care of, which we spray all year. Getting the track had rye that was 5 foot tall on it, getting that cut off, and then getting all the updated sponsor signs done, banners everywhere, tents. It's really about 2 weeks up to the pull. There's work to do, but it's getting easier every year. Like I said, especially having the lot to ourselves with no hay sale this year, so that's a big plus and a lot less work. And be a way easier on the pullers. They don't got to sit out and wait. So we don't know what time. We're not going to let the pits open all night long on Thursday night. We don't know what time, but as long as we're here, I think we're going to let trucks in. Without having the lights, I think we're going to encourage people to go uptown if it's after midnight for sure. So maybe even 11.
Okay, so it's kind of a soft closing date of 11 p.m. on the nights leading up to the pull. You'd kind of like to have people in there by then. If you do roll in after that, because travel plans are what they are, head up downtown or the truck stop. I hear people talk about that, a lot. There's somewhere else that they can kind of hold until the following morning, and then break a day, they can come rolling in the following day.
Yeah. Like I said, depending on the weather and the rain or whatnot, maybe it's going to be better to be waiting just a little patiently. But I foresee us being here late. If we do tarp the track, we usually get the track ready to pull on, and then grade it in, level it, and then pull the tarp on it. So that gives us all the more time Friday night to yeah, don't pull the tarp until we're ready to go pulling. So
the two things I want to kind of gossip about with you, because this is what, pulling fans and people like to just anticipate and chew the cud on. Let's talk about the track itself. This track is known. I mean, it's one of the best tracks in the nation. We had historic pullers last year say that it was the best daytime track they'd ever pulled on. You're a puller yourself. You've been doing this for a long time. Looking out at the track right now, what are you thinking? I mean, is this just going to live up to it again this year? I mean, or just tell us about what makes this track so good. Give us a track update.
I would say, I mean, the rye really helps, especially when you got to have as many hooks that go over it, keep it from getting so hard. But yeah, we obviously put manure in it in the fall to get the organic matter in it. But yeah, like with the tarp, I think one of our best tracks we ever had, what we found, and Kevin Bauer will testify to this too, is when we tarped that track, that track settled for an entire 24-hour period. And that was probably the best track we ever had here. But yeah, the guys that do this do an awesome job. And it just, you ask a lot out of a track if you got to run I mean, each side sometimes sees 80 to 100 hooks a night. So it's asking a lot for it not to turn into a concrete highway. But yeah, we do our best with what we can.
With us removing the Saturday day session, and you kind of talk about how it turns into concrete and it takes such a beating, did the Saturday day session, even being as good of a track as it was that track kind of tired a little bit by Saturday night, or was it even harder to create a great track? With the Saturday day session being gone, should we anticipate an even better Saturday night track this year than we've seen in years past?
Oh yeah, I would sure think the track is going to be able to sit for 24 hours and not have to be pounded on right away 12 hours later. I won't see why we couldn't have it. I don't know. I mean, the first night, I'm not gonna lie. Your Thursday night with a fresh track with the organic matter in it, that's gonna be the best track of the week, I think. But I don't know. I anticipate 3 nights of good tracks. So we always have a good track.
And that's
here, so.
Definitely. And I'm kind of looking for news where there's not a lot of news. I'm trying to keep the audience on the edge of their seat. This track is renowned as being a perfect track. It'll just be interesting to see, is it even better with that, without taking that beating that it takes on a Saturday afternoon. The other question I want to start kind of just surmising about, and you talked about it, there could be up to 80 or even 100 hooks, per side at any given session. People want to know, this pool's been getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and it's getting more and more national attention. What sort of vibe are you getting from pullers in our association or outside? Talk to us about numbers. I mean, there's always that crazy 200 number out there. Do you think that we'll flirt with it, or are we just going to have to wait and see what happens Thursday through Saturday?
I don't know. I don't think we'll get there. It'll surprise me if we do. I think 150 comes first, 160. Yeah, seeing some names on the app, what Ron has been talking about. I see the Kentuckian is signed up. Yeah, Burkholz out of Wisconsin says he's going to try to come for at least one hook, depending on the weather. He was a first-timer last year. It seems like we can get some of these guys here for the first time, and they want to come back on barring points hooks from other places. But I would suspect we'll see some new blood here again, especially if you guys think we got 20 modifieds coming.
That is optimistic, but I also don't find it to be unrealistic either. I find it to be plausible. I think that's something that could happen. What do you feel will be the biggest class? Will we see any classes where we get near 30 hooks in a single class?
I don't foresee 30 hooks. I don't know. Probably if I had to guess, well, yeah, it could be a toss-up between well, I suppose if one of them four-wheel drive classes, the Pro 4x4 possibly, is notorious to have 20 to 25 hooks here. I don't know if the 466s will hit 20. But your modifieds, two-wheelers, I don't know how many are coming from out east. I see Sullivan from California is coming. I see there's some Minnesota two-wheelers signed up. Looks like all the Texas guys are coming. So I don't know. I don't see a 30-hook class this year. I think there's some limited pro stock hooks, some other places that could take some of the Missouri guys away. Yeah, I don't see a 30 class. Maybe I'll be surprised.
definitely some 25s. I mean, you're talking about that pro stock four-wheel drive truck class. They have been really coming out of the woodwork this year. The LLPs, the 466s, like you talk about. Your Super Farm group, that's a group that travels really, really well. I wouldn't be surprised to see over 20, in the Super Farms. I think that's a very easy number to show up for that one. And the two-wheel drives, that's a big wild card. Those are the type of every association has two-wheel drives. And if they all just kind of decide to converge at one place, that's something that we could see happening. What do you think attracts all these pullers to Rock Valley? What makes this one a pull that people, just fans and pullers both, you being someone from the community, what makes this one so special for the outsiders?
Oh boy, I would say the hospitality around here. I want to say we try to cater to everybody we can. I would say the fans in the stands watching nonstop, getting the tractors up and down the track, and I mean not having to wait. You always hear fans comment about that. A 5-minute downtime between hooks, they lose their attention span.
Yeah.
And obviously the track. I don't know. A whole combo of things. I mean, this is year number 22, I think 23. We've been doing it a long time, so we always strive to make it better every year. So I guess hopefully we always make a few changes. Like I said, the campground's going on the north side of the track, so some people don't like change, but we try to change for the better. So
yeah, there's a lot at this pull. If I just trace my roots back to a fan, there's a lot that gets done right at this pull. The track is outstanding. The pace of pull is very, very quick. You're right. The fans are passionate. This is not a pull where the fans kind of dilly in and out and leave. I mean, this is a place where you're going to see several thousand people kind of glued to their seats watching the action. And I bet the pullers kind of feed on that. When a puller knows it's a good track, they're going to be moving through at a quick pace. The fans are into it. That probably helps build that good reputation and the hospitality. Like you said, Rock Valley, very community-oriented place. What's it mean to the town to be pulling, not only last year, but to continue pulling after everything that happened with the floods and everything? Is this still just a big a deal as ever to go out there after what's happened?
Oh yeah, I mean it's just a testament to all the volunteers that we have every night. I mean, I don't know what's out here right now, probably 40 to 50 people, and it's every night. And when we go and send the sponsorship letters out, we don't take sponsors down very quick. It's usually adding sponsors. So the community is the reason why this poll is where it's at, and the support. The board, Rich Roseboom, they just do an awesome job of continually not letting this thing fail. And this year with the Thursday night obviously being the biggest change, the town, obviously we've talked in the past about what's going on Saturday with the breakfast, the kids pedal pull, there's a tractor show, there's bands uptown, there's markets, I don't even know what you call them, not flea markets, but whatever.
Like a farmer's market.
Like a farmer's market.
Check stuff out. Yeah.
So, I mean, the town really does whatever we need. We're like, you know what? We got these people in town. We got to entertain them. And we don't want to do it at the track all day during the day. Let's get them uptown and show them a good time. So.
And wonderful that the community accepts that. I've been a part of communities before that kind of push back on a tractor pull because, they're loud or the locals don't understand it. But just think about when 15,000 potential new customers roll into your town. That's how big is Rock Valley? A couple thousand, it's going to increase its population tenfold over this weekend. And that's business, that's revenue, that's stuff put back into the community. So when the community is like, hey, please come uptown and, check out the farm stands and we'll cook breakfast for you. That's really good when a pull in a community can kind of find that common ground together, because everyone's going to walk out a winner with that. Thursday night session, let's go ahead and check that out. So Thursday night, like Kurt said here, we are going to 3 different nights, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, instead of Friday, Saturday, Saturday. So on Thursday, where you guys are going to kick things off with super modified 2-wheel drives, 4-wheel drives, naturally aspirated 2-wheel drives, light pro stocks making their debut on the season, diesel supers, limited pro stocks, light super stocks, and light limited mods. So you guys are running 2 tractors this year, correct? You've got your Super Farm and your Pro stock. Is that right?
Yes. Hopefully the Pro's there. So
neither one of those, neither one hooking on Thursday. Is that kind of a relief, or is that are you going to be kind of itching to get going down the track?
No, it's a relief to take a night off. The Super Farm is going to go to Onawa, but
yep.
We'll just leave.
Who's going to be driving in Onawa?
I think Barry will, most likely.
Okay.
So.
Yep. And then, so when do you have any nights where your Super Farm and your Big Pro pull at the same time at Rock Valley?
Yeah, Friday and Saturday night they'll both be hooking. So.
Okay, so they overlap on Friday and Saturday. So you're kind of like you're a promoter. You're on the board. You're pulling. You've got 2 vehicles. What's going to be going through your mind on Friday and Saturday? How are you going to manage, all those different hats you're going to be wearing?
Oh, just crossing our fingers that new Pro stock runs. That's the one, our only concern. But
what's the driver schedule for all vehicles in Rock Valley? So Barry's going to drive the Red Rock in Onawa, but once we come into the hometown, who's driving what and when?
We don't have a clue. I'm going to make Dave. I'm going to make Dave drive that Pro stock first.
Good idea.
I got Mr. Tim Blankensport, Mr. Tractor Pulling Knowledge himself, standing next to me.
100%. Already there volunteering. Tim, what have you been up to today? What role have they had you playing?
Oh, I try to do the social media, a very amateur social media, very mediocre. I do what I can. Most of the nonsense you see on Thunder in the Valley page is mine. That's why I always don't ever turn the camera on me. So this is kind of rare.
I told him he had to do this. So
this is a part of getting out there. Well, I think you're doing a great job. Facebook page looks good.
Appreciate that.
Website looks good too. Who manages the Rock Valley Pool website? Oh, we lost them. Right on cue. Let's go check out that website. Let you guys take a look at it right here. It is definitely something worth checking into. Like I said, this is a mega pull. This is a cornerstone pull here at the Outlawed Truck and Tractor Pulling Association. So this is one of those where, this pull has its own website. He talked about camping. He talked about a couple different things. Let's check out a couple different things here on the website just to look into it here. So in your tickets, you can see you get a weekend pass, $65. That's going to get you in the gate nonstop 3 days in a row. Children, $25, or it's $25 per person per night. $180 to camp includes 2 advanced weekend tickets. That is an absolute steal. I know for a fact if you went to some of the big pulls at other associations, that's going to run you something closer to $400. So check that out. Website is rockvalleypull.com. And looks like they're back with us here, so we'll get them up on here. We were just talking about the website. Tim, do you work with the website too, or just the Facebook page?
No, just the Facebook page.
Kurt, who runs the website, the Rock Valley Pool website?
Cybrack. It's a company uptown. Jason Gernweg does it. He's done very well. He's been with us for years.
Yep. It's a big time pull when it has its own dedicated website to it. Kurt, I was just kind of perusing some of the deals on there. It looks like a person can actually camp, get like a camping pass plus 2 reserve tickets for $180. That's a steal. Tell us about that.
Yeah, we thought we'd package it up. I mean, it gets you in all weekend and gets your campsite. So gives people a good way to save a little money.
What is it to camp, if you don't buy the package deal online, if you just roll in there, how much is a person going to pay to camp?
I want to say I thought we were talking about 50 maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, you have to check the website.
Yeah, check the website.
That'll have all the info.
Okay. And on camping, is that just primitive camping? Bring your own generator, haul your own water. First come, first serve.
It's reserve. You go on the website and you can reserve. So
the only way you go camping is if you have a reservation.
Yes. Well, yes. I mean, if we got room when they come in here, I don't think we're going to turn them away. So
you can try to get lucky, but it's how many sites ballpark?
Was there 50?
58, maybe, I want to say.
Okay, so a pretty good number in all honesty.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's on the north side of the road. There's parking. You can drive your side by side golf cart. You can get it to right up to the north side of the road, and then there's a parking area for it to cross.
Yeah,
for you to walk across to get to the pole.
The campground is new. Spread the word. We've been on the south side of Highway 18 for quite a few years. It has moved north of the track, north of the pits, and it'll be a brand new area. So it is not south like it has been in the past. That will be over full parking.
Excellent. Yeah. And this just sounds like it's going to be smoother, safer, kind of nicer for everyone involved. What if they don't have a camper, guys? What if they're coming up to watch everything? Is there a hotel room left to be booked in town, or did those sell out a long time ago?
I would say you could check for cancellations, but the hotels in town are booked. But it don't hurt to call them and check them for cancellations. But then I know Sioux Center is, you can reach out to Sioux Center. That's 15 miles. But they're usually full. But then we got Orange City and Sheldon both a half hour away. But we're 45 minutes from Sioux Falls, and you're guaranteed to find something there.
That's what I knew. Sioux Falls wasn't terribly far, and if this is a destination pool, which it should be anyway, I mean, it's 6.5 hours for me to get up there, and I would come even if I wasn't working it. A lot of your fans are going to come from that far away. They're going to be more than happy to grab a hotel, in Sioux Falls. Most of them, like you've said, have already grabbed the hotels. They're in town. Rock Valley, not a big town. What is the population there? 2,500, 3,000?
No, 4,500, which
4,500.
It's not big, but
Yep. And how big, how many people come in this weekend? I mean, does the town feel absolutely packed for about 3 days?
I don't know what we usually get through the gate. Yeah, it definitely feels full.
Sure.
I mean, usually we have like 15,000 for the weekend for both shows, but yeah, that's doubling. I usually generally safe to say there's 8,000 people.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah. 8,000 people total, or 8,000 per show?
8,000 total. I mean, total. Usually, when we fill the place up, we're probably at, when it's standing room only, probably 7,500 maybe.
Yeah, I would agree with that. That seems about spot on based on what I've seen last year. Any new bleachers or anything, or is the seating arrangements, exactly how they were a year ago?
They're exactly how they were a year ago.
Okay, which is still more than accommodating. I mean, folks, if you haven't been, this really is one of the nicest facilities that you'll go to. Completely open pits. You don't need a pit pass, right, Kurt? Fans can walk the pits at this one with no extra fee. Is that correct?
Yes. Yes.
It's one you want to get to early. What time do the gates open? I mean, how soon can a fan get back there and start talking to pullers?
Well, they can get in the pits beforehand, but to get into the actually pulling arena will be 2 hours before showtime. The gates will open.
Okay, so, and I believe 7 o'clock on Thursday night, 6:30 on Friday, 6 o'clock on Saturday. So bump that back 2 hours ahead of time. You can come in there, get your seat going. Cold drinks, hot food's going to be going on that whole time. Make sure you get something there. Really, this is one of the polls that everybody needs to attend. It's going to be streamed like all our content on Full Pull Live. So check that out on Full Pull Live or outlawpulling.tv. Their whole crew is going to be there. Kurt, closing thoughts on the 24th. You said maybe the 24th edition of Thunder in the Valley. Give us your 30-second rundown of what the fans need to know, or what your closing beliefs are on it.
Come one, come all. I think it will be a great show. We're going to do whatever we can to deal with the weather. The Thursday night show, we're going to have must see classes every night. So there ain't a session that's going to be better than the other.
Sometimes Thursday night shows, no matter where you go, are a little bit thin, and that's not a bad thing. But our Thursday night show is going to be good. It's going to be a good one.
Yeah, let's hit that lineup for Thursday night one more time really quickly. So just Thursday night alone, super modified two-wheel drives, one of the cornerstone classes for the Outlaws. I mean, you've had as much success at the farm show there as anything with our two-wheelers. Modified four-wheel drives, modified two-wheel drives, light pro stocks, their first time coming out this year, diesel super stocks, limited pros, the 4-1s that everybody loves, the light supers, the alky burners, and your light limit modified. So you got both mods. No, excuse me. Big mods aren't pulling on Thursday night, it looks like. Big mods will probably be hitting Friday and Saturday. So a lot of speed, a lot of noise. Every single outlaw class will hook at Rock Valley other than do the super fields.
Diesel pickups, the 3.0 diesel pickups don't hook here.
3.0 truck. So everything other than the 3.0s you will see. So it's your one-stop shop for all outlaw pulling.
Yep.
100%. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for all that you do. Kurt, I'm glad I'm not you this week because you've got 2 tractors in 2 different places, 4 different sessions of pulling to think about. There's a lot that's going to be on your mind. Best of luck in all of it. And Tim, thank you so much for all that you do, both boots on the ground and out there on the internet. And gentlemen,
Appreciate that, Mike.
We'll see you in a couple of days.
Sounds good.
See you guys. Thanks.
Yep. Thanks for joining us. All right, let's get caught up on a couple comments here. Rock Valley. It's Rock Valley week, folks. Thunder in the Valley. We'll backpedal here. We'll talk about, the lineups that we do have. We made it through Concord. We made it through Thursday night in Rock Valley. We still want to talk about what's going on Thursday night in Onawa. We want to talk about what's going on Friday night in Rock Valley and then Saturday night in Rock Valley. Where else would you rather be? But let's take a look-see at some of our comments over here. Chris Pierce, says, hope the rain keeps away this weekend. I looked at it on my radar for Rock Valley, and I only saw one night where there were like 50% chance of scattered thunderstorms. I'm not worried about it. Kurt wasn't worried about it. We're going to go pulling. Mike Robinson says, watching from Michigan. Thank you for tuning in all the way from Michigan, east of the river. We love it. Case Conover watching from Lytle, Texas, a faithful fan. Doesn't miss a show. Kenny Beeson is watching. Kenny, thank you for tuning in. Best of luck on your pulling endeavors. And Doug Voth, lots of entertainment for the cost. Yeah, absolutely. And that's one thing. Pullers deserve to get paid more, and pulling deserves to continue to thrive. Don't be afraid to pay the $25 anytime you go pulling. Jamie Yonke says, Thursday night will be the only night I'm pulling this week, so let's make it great. So many ways to interpret that and read into that. Does that mean, Miss Jamie, that's the only night that you will be driving and we can anticipate that Harrison's going to be behind the wheel again? Or does that mean that the Moving On tractor is going to be busy and we'll only see it out once at all? Ron Stone, out there traveling, hopping on the back end of the show, says, need to have Winona perform in Onawa at the Monica Concert Fair. Winona. I'd rather listen to you sing, Mr. Stone. Hope you are traveling safely and getting to Concord nicely. I know that Ron sent me a text message, and I do want to make sure we get to that because it has some important info right there. Holganix Midwest Summer Sweep. Light pro stock class. This is their first hook. So, yeah, absolutely. They're going to be hooking in Rock Valley first time on the season, and they're going to be hitting Holganix, one of their 10 Holganix sweeps that they're going to be going on there. James Schwartzman watching from beautiful Tonganoxie, Kansas. Absolutely. So let's talk about everything else that's going on. We got through Concord. We got through Thursday night in Rock Valley. I think we did get through Thursday night in Onawa. Like I said, I'll be announcing Thursday night in Onawa. Ron Stone, the voice of the Outlaws, he will be up in Rock Valley, Iowa, alongside Dan Mayer, going to come and do some outlaw announcing with us. So you'll hear Dan and Ron on the pull-by-pull and color on Thursday night. And then Friday and Saturday, I'll be scooting into town doing Winner's Circle interviews while Ron and Dan do their thing up in the Crow's Nest. So very privileged to announce with probably 2 of the best, if not the 2 best announcers in the country. So I always enjoy working with both those individuals. Friday night, Rock Valley, the only place the Outlaws are pulling this week on Friday night, 3,200 super field. Like I said, developing story there. We're going to stay perfect in that one. Light limited pro stocks, light super stocks. You know, Kurt said he kind of thought those LLPs might be the biggest class. And yeah, 17 of them already signed up to pull Friday night. Light Super Stocks, anything interesting going on in there? 3 of them signed up. Light Super Ag, Pro Stock, Super Farm, 4-wheel drives, my favorite class. Let's see how many we have. As of right now, 11. Love it. Absolutely awesome. Naturally aspirated 2-wheel drives, Pro Stock 4x4, light limited modifieds. Modifieds, the over-under is 19.5. Ron and I have a little bet on this. Both of us took the over. As of right now, 11 of them. Hey, 8 more, and we're going to be getting pretty close to that number. And then our Pro Stock semis, and then we should see a similar show on Saturday night as well. Cole Lundahl chiming in. 2014 was the very first year we decided to attend Rock Valley. Since then, it's remained a do not miss event year after year. Completely agree. Even if you're not a diehard outlaw fan, if you're just a pulling fan, if you're someone who follows, a state level circuit or a regional level circuit, or if you were like I was before I got into broadcasting and you chase the biggest of the biggest pulls in the country, this one has to be on your bucket list. Rock Valley, I'm not just saying that because I am an outlaw, though I love being an outlaw. This pull is up there. I mean, this is I would say it's one of the top 5, if not the top 3 pulls nationwide, period. So yeah, very exciting. And we're going to kind of pregame it and kick things off with a couple of pulls leading into it. Something really neat that we do here with the Outlaws. So Onawa, Iowa on Thursday, Concord, Nebraska Wednesday, Concord, Nebraska Wednesday, Onawa, Iowa Thursday, Rock Valley Thursday, Rock Valley Friday, Rock Valley Saturday. Lots of great stuff. Let's shift gears a little bit here. And let's get back into our When the Smoke Clears program. I want to take a moment and kind of update everybody on what's going on with When the Smoke Clears too. When the Smoke Clears, still continuing, still looking to be a passion project, still want to feature all our drivers. If we haven't featured you, be on the lookout for a message from me. If you want to be featured, don't be afraid to reach out to the Outlaw Facebook page or to me personally. We will get you guys featured. I had a snafu with my Facebook account. So Roger Rui was your featured When the Smoke Clears puller 2 whole weeks ago. Just now today did I get his biography and hero card posted on the Facebook page. Tomorrow, I will hopefully, if Facebook is behaving and liking me, get his video posted. After that, we'll get back on track, but we want to kind of keep the program rolling. So we are going to go ahead and run a new featured puller right now. So what you'll see, it'll just be a week delayed. So we'll run the puller every week on Outlawed Live. And then the following Tuesday, you'll see their biography. So there will be kind of a delay in there while we get this kind of back on track because Facebook, wasn't my friend there for a little bit. But, internet happens. So, life goes on. But this week, When the Smoke Clears, you'll be looking at an outlaw. And the outlaw you'll be looking at, Jared Hagena, Forever Green. Let's check out that video right now. Awesome video right there. Big thank you to Mackenzie Teeting over there at Beer Money Pulling Team for always putting those together for us. Jared Hagena, When the Smoke Clears, you'll be looking at an outlaw, and he is the outlaw that you will see. If you're not familiar, this is a program where we try to get to know our pullers a little bit better behind the scenes. What got them into pulling, what keeps them going, and what makes them tick. So let's check out his biography. So your puller, Jared Hagena, he calls his tractor Forever Green. It's a light limited pro stock John Deere 4520. He's been pulling. I was just reading over this. Listen to this. Been pulling for 33 years. So for the majority of my lifetime, 33 years. First time hooking, first ever pull was with his grandma's E4 co-op in 1992. Now those co-ops, I'm guessing that means that he was, that he was pulling like in a classics or an antique or something like that. Those co-ops really, really salty in those classes. Most memorable hook, winning Thunder in the Valley, right on cue. Look at that. Winning Thunder in the Valley in 2015. Wonder if he won the Thunderbolt alongside with it. Says his wildest ride was in Onawa. Man, it's like this guy wrote it for this week. Wildest ride was in Onawa, where the left rear wheel hub broke off, and I had to get loaded into the trailer with a payloader. You see that happen at indoor pulls all the time. Not sure why that's the case, but yeah, kind of interesting. It happened at an outdoor pull. So left rear kind of said goodbye. Points championship. So the only time we got a points championship was in 2009 with our 4255 open farm tractor that they called Deer Addiction. Biggest hero, when asked who his biggest hero is, says it's Mark Ulmer. Says because he is very humble and wise. I want to take a moment to talk about how Mark Ulmer has positively impacted my life as a broadcaster and as a pulling fan. That's definitely someone who has a lot of accolades, but I feel, doesn't always get talked about on social media or on the podcast a lot. Mark Ulmer was the first puller to come up to me while announcing my first ever show. I met him and Tyler, and they came up into the booth and actually kind of talked to me and kind of, gave me a pat on the back and told me to keep it up. Very, very humble guy. Absolutely very wise. I completely agree. I met up with Mark and Tyler after that first show that I did, and we just talked pulling history. Mark will set me straight. I kind of talk out of my backside from time to time and misquote or misremember things. And Mark will say, oh, no, it was this year, this person, which I very much appreciate because I love diving into that pulling history. But the guy's a doggone just phenomenal driver, too. So I love that answer. Mark Ulmer is a staple in the sport of pulling. Jared says best advice to anybody. So best advice to anyone starting out pulling is don't get discouraged and always continue to learn. Says his day job is farming and finishing cattle with my dad and brother near Davis, South Dakota. Pulling goals. He says his pulling goal is to be able to run for points someday. Wants to put together that whole season where they're able to go front to back and chase the points. Says the best part about being an outlaw is the people. I've been able to meet so many people and enjoy getting to see them at all the events that I can make. So awesome bio right there. And he did send a couple of pictures that he asked that we would share. So I want to go ahead and present those as well. Jared Hagena in the Forever Green, awesome light limited pro stock. And he did submit these along with his bio. Always cool when they do that. So just a beautiful shot right there. And then I believe he's got one, right here with the whole family. Pulling's a family sport, so we appreciate him submitting that. When the smoke clears, you'll be looking at an outlaw, and the outlaw that you'll be seeing Forever Green, Jared Hagena, out of the great state of South Dakota. Got a couple more comments right here. Let's hit those. Marty Samuelson chiming in along with a couple of others. Make sure we get up here to the top. Yeah, Marty Samuelson, who I met in Ravenna. Almost forgot it was Tuesday. I am here. Hey, thanks for tuning in. I almost lost track of the days, too. Marty says, would be fun to see one of the Ravenna pulls be on here. Ravenna pullers be on here. Yeah, we can do that. I think it's an excellent idea. Yep, absolutely. We can contact one of the Ravenna pullers and be more than happy to interview them. Yeah, if you're a puller and you ever want to talk pulling, reach out to me. We'll put you on the podcast, or we'll just have a phone call about pulling. We want to feature all the pullers out there one way or another. So Marty, thanks for chiming in. You do a great job of kind of promoting things out there in Ravenna. Hopefully you'll be watching to all the pulls we have going on this week. big week of shows. Big week of points. I know I said we try to talk some points breakdown. Didn't quite get there a little bit. The narrative of the season is shaping up. One thing we talked about a lot tonight was the undefeateds. Are they going to stay undefeated? A perfect season. You know, Doug Meisinger pulled off the perfect season. He did not lose a single one, won every single one of them in 2022, I think it was. That'd be a fun trivia question for, the Dan Mayers and the Charles Posh and the Will Mann world out there. Perfect season. How many perfect seasons have there been? Who has gone a whole year and only finished first? You'd think that the Connor brothers back in the early 90s would have done something like that. I know they had like 17 straight Grand National wins. So yeah, we've got some perfect seasons shaping up, but it's very early. Our winning streaks right now are in the 2 or the 3 on the year. But it's something to start paying attention to. Points. Let's go ahead and talk points because there are some things to pay attention to. And this is one of those weeks where Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, a lot's going to change by the time Outlawed Live rolls back around next week. So, what's standing out to us in points? What's raising our eyebrows? What do we think is going to change? Let's hit that really quick. Super modified two-wheel drives, Donald Nelson. Little Whip doesn't surprise me a ton. He's been wildly consistent, very, very consistent this year. I feel like he's obviously at every poll. Duh, it's a stupid thing to say. But he's just there regularly, not grabbing a bunch of wins, but staying out of his own way, driving like a veteran, doing exactly what he does. So Little Whip, he's number 1 in points right now. And then Whip It, his number 2 truck, which they have Donald as the points driver with that. Of course, the points go to the truck, not the driver. But we all know that Dustin Corliss has been really enjoying the time in the seat with that truck. So Donald's sitting 1 and 2 right now, but I love this one. 7 miles straight east of my house, Macon, Missouri. Trevor Fitzsimmons sitting number 3 in points. Trevor, kind of a gunslinger, kind of a go where he feels like going, hits some, doesn't hit others, drives it like he stole it. That old T-Bucket, that country heat out of Macon, Missouri, he's an X factor that when he shows up, people get a little nervous, but he doesn't always show up. But this year, he has been everywhere, went all the way down to Texas, sitting number 3 in points. Fun one to keep an eye on. What's Trevor Fitzsimmons got going on? And Richard Morris, not off to the start he wants to be on. No way. Okay, defending points champ. He's winless on the year so far. Still sitting number 4 in points, ladies and gentlemen. He's within striking distance. He's only 7 points out of the lead. That's going to be a fun one to watch shape up. 4-wheel drive, Thornton's sitting 1 and 2 right now. Backdraft, your defending champion. He's number 1. Ramrod. Hey, they got one with Thumper 2 years ago. They got one with Backdraft last year. Ramrod's a number 2. Are they going to get one with Ramrod this year? That'd be a neat 3 different trucks in 3 years. Diesel 3.0 trucks, Jason Wayman, Skylar Leeper. Going back and forth, doing what those two do. NA 2-wheel drives, Luke Renner, perfect on the year, undefeated. Pro Stock 4-wheel drives, Keith Hammonds. Listen to this. This is crazy to look at. Keith Hammonds, undefeated on the year, still only has a 2-point lead over Mike Compton. Okay? Crazy. Going to be fun to see how that shakes down. 3200 Superfield. Yep, Gary Cavanaugh got 1 win on the season. He's out in first place right now. Diesel Super Stock's going to be David Anderson up there in Green Top, Missouri. They've only got 1 hook so far as well. Light Limited Pro, yeah, Randall Gira, 2 out of 3 wins on the year, sitting with 38 points. But Keith Keyshaw, number 2 by only 2 points back. Limited Pro, Justin Deck. There's maybe the one that's going to be hardest to catch right now. Justin Deck sitting out there with a 9-point lead. That tractor does feel like it's going to be tough to tame this year. That one, we need to dive into his stats a little deeper and see what's going on there. I don't think he's undefeated. I think he's got 2 wins, but maybe he's undefeated as well. Light Supers, Alan Ulmer, very consistent, hits all the shows, big lead just by being there. And then Light Super Ag, they've only hooked once, but Corey Schluter is looking to defend things there. Pro Stocks, going to be a 3-horse race, I predict, in this one. But 2 of those horses are on the same team. Caden Wager and Lacey Wager currently sitting 1 and 3 with Cody Yarrick sandwiched in between them. Cody's got kind of double duty that he's going to have to go after with those 2 this year if he's going to make 3 points championships in a row. Superform's hardest class to win in outlaw pulling, but right now Alan Andrews is writing the book on how to be successful in that class. Currently sitting number one, actually tied number one with Dave Rosaboom. Let's talk to the other driver of that with the Red Rock out there. Light limited mods, Wes Severs and Blake Ott tied for the number one spot. Modifieds, Case and Petch sitting with a 2-point lead, and Thermal Thunder. The whole world's watching that young man right now. 19-year-old or 20-year-old driver, really his first full front-to-back season, and it's a turbine. That's for a fun story. Things are heating up out there. Oh, but then Donald Nelson sitting number two, Mr. Consistent in his brand new Bull Buster. And then your Pro Stock semis. Yeah, absolutely. Brent Roberts doing what Brent Roberts does, sitting in the number one spot. How much will all of this shake up by next week? And we'll start talking Hoganics Midwest Summer Sweep points once we get a lot of those classes in, because a lot of those are going to make big hits this weekend too in Rock Valley. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching Outlawed live this evening. Walked you through what's going on this week. We talked to Kurt Kimm, the promoter and board member up there at the Thunder in the Valley Pool, and we even cleared a little smoke and featured Jared Hagana. Thanks for pulling with me. Have an excellent Tuesday evening. Green flags and tight chains. Pulling's fun, folks.